Hello, and we're back na naman dito sa the 25 Centavo Change Podcast. I am your host, MJ, and we'll be talking about more about the topic which is very relevant in continuation doon sa ating previous episode. Well, our previous episode is talking about concept of change. Right now, what we will be talking about dito sa podcast na to is the concept of resilience and perseverance. Resilience and perseverance. Lagi natin itong naririnig ngayon sa mga motivational speakers. Nakikita sa mga social media, TikTok, X, Twitter, even Instagram, mga quotations. Ano nga ba ang resilience and perseverance when it comes to the concept of change? O itong related sa ating 25 centavo change. Well, when we say resilience, hindi siya basta-basta, it's a character or behavior na hindi naman basta-bastang napupulot mo lang or natututunan. Experience, dito magiging applicable yung tinatawag nila na experience is the best teacher. For you to learn to be resilient, ma-experience mo muna yung mga mahahalagang pangyayari sa buhay para masabi mo na, oh, resilient ka na nga pala. Or, magiging resilient ka. Yan. And, when we are talking about resilience, there is a certain power of resilience na kailangan nating intindihin. A person who experienced great loss, pain, grief, and suffering or sorrow, especially kapag nawalan ka ng mahal sa buhay, hindi over time yung pagiging resilient. As someone who lost her mom at a young age, I would call myself young age at 15, ay hindi ko even mawari or masabi na I am resilient. But because of the experiences, natututunan nating maging matatag. Because first and foremost, in the book I expressed that our mom, she kinda likely trained us kung paano maging mabuhay independently. Ang hindi niya lang naturo sa amin is how to live without her. And living without a mother would eventually lead you to a certain power of resilience. Yung journey ng pagiging matatag o resilient ay hindi natin masasabi na isang upuan lang o isang experience lang tapos okay ka na, matatag ka na ulit. It would become a cycle of setbacks, failures, mistakes, and not just loss. Mayroon ka mga mararanasan na pangyayari sa buhay mo that would actually make you realize na this time, I will be stronger. Kaya nga may tinatawag tayo na stronger, fiercer, diba? Ganyan. Bolder. Yun yung version 2.0 ng isang tao who experienced setbacks and failures in life. This is the power of resilience. Sa mga pagbabago na nangyari in your life this recent years or past years, makikita mo in a certain way na sa susunod na magkaroon ka ng failure or sa susunod na makaramdam ka ng pain or suffering, you would realize na hindi na siya kasing sakit ng kagaya ng dati. Siyempre, kasama dyan yung heartbroken. For the younger generation now, we hope that resilience will become embedded or integrated as a character as their character, since yung eto nga na sinasabi nilang power of resilience has been born sa generation na ito. And we are praying and hoping that the younger generation, yung tinatawag natin Generation Alpha or Generation Z, would inculcate, yung ma-inculcate o ma-embolden o ma-ingrain sa kanila itong tinatawag natin na power of resilience. And how do we see or how do we experience yung pagiging matatag? Una sa lahat, when we are faced with problems or kahit mapigat man ito, gaano pa yung gravity ng problem natin, mabigat man o magaan, if we learn to face this with another, if we learn to look at the other perspective of it, well, hindi naman lahat ng resilient na tao hindi umiiyak, hindi nagpapatulong, o kaya mag-isa lang niya nagsosolve ng problems niya. A resilient person is someone who knows when to ask for help, when to look for her friends and family or relatives na mapagkakatiwalaan niya to share her problems or his problems, and to ask for help when needed. A resilient person is someone who is willing and ready to keep on starting over and over again. Meron nga akong na panood sa isang let's say it's also a podcast or an interview that talks about depression and anxiety. When we experience setbacks and change, especially yung sudden change, yung drastic change, of course mararamdaman natin yung in the past. If it's something in the past, that's depression. If something or the worry about the future, that's anxiety. And when we're talking about depression, it's something that happened in your past, setbacks, failures, loss, and all those painful emotions na nangyari sa you in the past would lead to you experiencing depression. Minsan, if you look at the brighter side of it, or if you look at the other perspective, the other side of it, not all depression ay madadala lang sa you can be motivated on all. So kapag syempre malala na yan, you really have to seek help of those experts, which of course in the past generations hindi siya ganun ka-acceptable, but as of this generation, we already know, based on researches and studies, na we have to ask for help, we have to seek for help from the experts. And experts, I'm saying those who studied about the mental health issues. Well, setbacks, failures, and then resilience. This becomes obstacle sa pag-achieve natin sa ating mga goals. So ano nga bang gagawin natin to overcome certain obstacles, itong mga setbacks na ito? Itong mga obstacles na to, before we become resilient, kailangan nating harapin muna yung mga obstacles na ito. Una sa lahat is when itong mga obstacles or hurdles o pumipigil sa pag-abot natin ng mga pangarap natin ay they vary. They differ kada konteksto sa buhay ng isang tao. Nag-iiba-iba siya in every context. In my case, when I was younger, of course, the loss is different. The pain of losing my mom was different. The way that I handled it is even different with my siblings. So, we were 7, and I'm the third. So, iba-iba yung pag-face namin with the loss or with the pain. Of course, sometimes hindi dahil kamo mas masaya yung isa or mas parang okay siya, siya na yung pinaka-okay or naka-move on ka agad. Those emotions, those pain, and yung mga hindi mo maiintindihan na nararamdaman mo become obstacle in achieving yung greatness mo sa well-being mo, sa health, mentally, physically, and even physically. And even in molding relationships in the future, in molding relationships with people who used to be close to you, with your friends, relatives, and even your family members. In our case, after the burial of my mom, parang nag-usap-usap kami magkakapatid and together with our dad. And then pinag-usapan namin, how are we going to move on? What will we do now? The exact words were, intupay kay mandiat na. And my dad said, let's start all over again. And the word starting all over again is true and it's real in some aspect. Because we cannot just move on and continue into a life not that you don't have the person you love. That is a setback in a family setting or even a relationship between or among us siblings. We never spoke about the pain. We never spoke about now she's gone. We just tried to move on. Because people were so convincing, or even our relatives were just convincing us to, come on, just move on. Just forget about it, or, oh, you can do it. Or others just didn't bother to talk to us. And that's real. That's true. As young as we were, ang iniisip mo lang during the time was, people really they moved on. People who were there during the wake and people who were there during your loss, they were just there. They were there. They were condoling you. They were telling you it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be okay. And then they leave you, and then their lives would go on, and you stay stuck wherever you are standing, and parang hindi gumagalaw yung mundo. And it was real. You were just dragging yourself every day, every morning from bed, and you don't really know what's going to happen for your entire day. And the truth is, we as family never processed the grief, and we really never talked about it. It's part of the culture, and it's part of something that it's part of the family dynamics that we're not really used to having no mother, or hindi naman kami talaga used sa wala yung nanay namin. And that pain, or that it's because I am able to talk about it, yung obstacle na yun, or yung pain of not being able to process the emotions and the grief, naging balakad siya for a long time. You would notice if I go back and reflect on the past, I say I wasn't my fullest potential when it comes to academics. When it comes also to life, it's like, okay, just move on, and just I was no longer that secured person that my mom used to guide. Hindi na ako yung I just have friends with anyone. By saying so, at some point, I succeeded in being rebellious. Not the rebellious that you're thinking. That's another generation. We are millennials, not the rebellious type that people are saying. But I started not going to church. That's one thing. The second thing is I started to, I'll just go to school, and it doesn't matter if I have lower grades or average than the usual. I started to not doing the things that I used to love, like music, and even the extracurricular activities that my mom usually would encourage us to join. So I detached from the world, and I was called before, tawag nga sa akin dati, the loner, because I enjoy being alone. Because etong ganito, I'm listening to my thoughts, what could have been our life if this thing didn't happen, and all those. It became an obstacle. And how did I overcome that? This is true. There will be situations and there will be people who will become instruments sa pag-overcome natin ng obstacles. And this would actually lead us to facing the adversity. So mabibigyan tayo ng perseverance to face the adversity. What is the adversity? Anyway, the adversity is being you as a young person or teenager not knowing what to do. Because usually you were guided. You have a voice. You have your mom to tell you that that's not good. That's not good for you. That's not gonna be good for you. Are you sure? your decision or your choice, are you sure that would lead to whatever your goal is? In facing the adversity, in and garnering the perseverance to face the adversity, you will be meeting people who will become either a lesson or just people who will just be there, who will teach you a lesson, or become a family or a friend who will stick by your side. When we say perseverance in the face of adversity, hindi ka naman magpa-persevere to face a certain adversity when, say for example, you're in a in an oval and you're a runner and there are hurdles before you. That's life, right? Those are the adversities, one hurdle after the other, and while you jump from hurdle to hurdle, there would be more hurdles coming before you will reach the finish line. And yung cheering, yung people around in the what do you call this, yung mga tao na nag-cheer and shouting for you, I mean cheering for you, supporting you, they will be your motivation to persevere and face those adversities para matalon mo yung hurdles at magawa mo yun. Hurdles in life are like sa atin, matapos yung pag-aaral, reach your makagraduate nang walang, nang for us ladies, sabi natin na hindi mabubuntis ng maaga, na hindi magkakaanak ng maaga, na hindi mapapariwara, na hindi mapabarkada, and all those things. Those are the hurdles actually. Those are the adversity na na-experience ng isang tao in her lifetime, in his lifetime. So, people will come. They will come and go. But those who stays, na sabi nga nila, are your friends. They're your people. I would say I would always remember this from friends when I was in college. When I turned 18, a group of friends who are a group of intellectual friends, I would say, because I would remember them. They're intellectual, and wherever you are around the world right now, I miss you guys. When I was turning 18, of course, debut yan, no? But in that context, I didn't want to bother my family to do that kasi hindi naman kasama sa culture natin yung kailangan may roses, dance, gowns, and all. I was fine with just celebrating it sa church, ganun, kasi hindi talaga siya parte ng, okay, I don't really celebrate my birthday lagi. So, when I turned 18, few of my friends, they surprised me with a simple debut. And what happened was they chipped in, and it was supposed to be a surprise. And the funny thing is, because my friends are intellectual, when we say intellectual, they are academically inclined as well, and they're really smart people, good people, and humble, but they're humble. Supposedly, I didn't know na magkakaroon ng surprise. And a friend would say, I'm sorry, I won't be able to join you. So I already have this idea na, okay, they're planning something. But these people, needless to say, I didn't ask it. I didn't even share with them anything about wanting to have a debut. It was simple debut. They brought me to Burnham Park. There's a skating rink and then a picnic area, and then my pizza, and they gave me gifts, and the memory that I will never forget. I get these friends, and when I meet them, kahit siguro ngayon, they're across the world, pero if we meet and see each other, you would still feel that they were the people who were there to face yung adversity. And for whatever adversity that they're also facing right now, and other obstacles na hinaharap man nila ngayon, I'm also praying for those for my friends, for them to be able to surpass kung ano man yung mga pinagdadaanan nila. It's because one time in my life, even if it was difficult, if it was so difficult to move on, they were there to support me. So, of course, that's where lumakas, or I was motivated to finish my studies. Diba? So, parang kasi ang motivation lang dati is, I have to do this. I want to make my parents proud. I want to make my mom proud. And it's what we're supposed to do. Kasi ganun tayo, di ba? We were programmed to mag-aral kang mabuti para makapagtapos ka, makakuha ka ng magandang trabaho, para makapag-provide ka sa family mo. But along the way, hindi naman ganun kadali, even to those well-off financially, and even to those who are smart or intellectually gifted. Hindi po lahat naging madali. Maybe you're looking at a friend right now and you're saying, bakit parang dali-dali ng life niya? It's not. I think I would say, not because you look at them as happy as they are now, hindi din naman masasabi na wala silang obstacle or adversity na pinagdadaanan. And while you collected or have these memories, you have these friends, this strength in facing your adversity, this is now the time you realize na nabibuild na yung resilience skills mo. Because you know that there are ways to face or to solve certain problems in certain situation, nabibuild na natin yung resilience skills. So aside from kailangan mong makatapos academically, or you need to be educated, yung pag-build natin ng resilience skills ay nabubuo din natin yan. It's a critical thinking, and even yung tinatawag nilang trial and error, right? In mathematics, when you compute and you have the formula pero hindi lumalabas yung solution, hindi lumalabas yung problem, you keep on trying, you keep on doing it, trial and error, until you reach it, until you find the answer. And in life, ganun din siya. In building your resilience skills, you would find ways and several tools or toolkits from people around you, from your own discernment, from your own experiences, and then you will be able to build your resilience skills. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na, hindi, ito lang, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to give you this toolkits and this is what you do. No. As someone who has no parents around for most of my academic years, even when I was in elementary, my mom was just there when I was in kinder, and she trained us to be independent academically and even in life. So, gagawa ng assignment, ako yan, kami yan. And even my sister, my eldest sister, who's an achiever, she would never, I would always tell her this. If I would ask a vocabulary, for example, Manang, anya ka diti meaning na tikastoy? And she would respond, encyclopedia ak, dictionary ak. So, no. There's a dictionary at that encyclopedia. And what's good right now is may Google pa nga, mas madaling maghanap, right? So, in building these resilience skills na tinatawag natin, you would really have to do it yourself. But, I would always advise, even the youth of today, that in doing so, and the first time, second time, or third time, it failed, and hindi mo talaga, bakit hindi mo ma-achieve academically, bakit hindi ko makuha itong gusto kong goal na to, that's where you have to turn to people. Stop, look, and listen. Turn to people who would really help you, and not to groups who would actually defy you, who would actually look for people or for friends who would support you, who would help you grow, who would make you understand yourself. And these usually are the people who would criticize you, who would tell you right in your face, kasi naman matuto kang makinig, matuto ka rin naman kasi sa mali mo, or kasi napapati ka nga dapat kasi ganyan. If they keep on telling you, or of course mararamdaman mo naman if it's gaslighting, right? Or if it's gaslighting or criticize ka talaga na hindi siya constructive criticism. And if you have those people like a mentor, then building your resilient skills is already in place. I would like to share one of my mentors' message. And it's actually a message from another mentor that she keeps on sharing as well. And that's what I love about mentors. Mentors na hindi nila alam na mentors ang turing ko sa kanila. It's because I always would hear or listen to what they say and intently put it in heart. Sabi daw, in one of the training that they attended, keep 33% of people who are above you. Siguro mayaman, konti sa'yo. 33 people who are in your level. Ka-age mo siguro. And then 33% of the people who are below you, so that you can help them and they will humble you down. People on top would actually make you want to reach more. You want to become like them. The level, of course, that's the mentality or even the maturity that you have. Ka-age mo siguro sila. And those who are below you, yung mga younger siguro, sabihin natin youngers, who are also starting, you motivate them as well. You become a mentor to them. Because there's no better way of teaching what you know. There's no better way of sharing what you know and growing your knowledge than teaching someone with the things that you know. Yeah. So 33%, don't forget 33% to build your resilient skills. And of course, huling-huli, we have to cultivate our resilient mindset. The word Taraki, when we're talking about Taraki in the Cordilleran context, in the indigenous context, is let me find the vocabulary. If we translate it, walang kaarte-arte sa katawan. Walang kaarte-arte sa katawan. Haamot ang ang babain na niya. But what we're trying to say is Taraki is, when we say Taraki, and in our context, if you know that you have to do something, you don't have to be pakeme-keme ka pa. One elder once told me when I was doing my internship in a bank before, syempre kabado ka pa niyan, you have to face people, you have to talk to people, and estudyante ka pa lang noon. This elder is known here in this community as one of the wealthy people, but she's simple. She used to just walk with her sako bag, and then she just told me and whispered, "Anak, adi kay gamin na man nervyos tapno adi maliwan din amom." She once told me that we know what to do in things, sa mga bagay-bagay. Minsan yung kinakabahan tayo, we doubt ourselves. Yun yung time na hindi tuloy natin nabibigay yung best natin, di ba? So, that's cultivating the resilient mindset. Ayan na, hindi naging resilient yung boses ko for how many minutes pa lang. Bumibigay na siya. Hindi. Kasi alam ko lang magsasalita ako. But yeah, sorry, it's a rule of public speakers and even hosts not to drink cold water. At salamat naman sa Vortex sa kanilang masarap na frap. Hindi ko tuloy na-resist. Uminom ako. Kaya ayan, napapaubo tuloy tayo. And in cultivating your resilient mindset, it would be a constant learning. Ayan. Sarap ng caramel frap at saka ng vanilla frap. Dito lang yan sa Bartek, dito sa KM4. And ayan. And because of that, na pag-usapan natin ang resilience and perseverance sa episode na ito. Now, abangan nyo po ang next episodes, and if you have comments and suggestions pa po o mga katanungan that you would like to ask directly, please comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe Taraki TV. Ito po si MJ, ang inyong host for the 25 Centavo Change Podcast. Bye!